One of the things I wanted to speak about, and it's what you're going to see a lot of analysis is of what made Rex Heuermann become a serial killer. And there's been some online conjecture, but the real heavyweights in this area, the psychologists, the Dr. Joni Johnsons, and some of the other Ramsland, and all of these people that are experts in this, they haven't had a chance to interview him because they won't either until this case is over with. But there are some talking as, well, he was viciously bullied when he was in high school. Like really, they described it as they didn't let up on him. He was really heavy duty bullied. His father died when he was 12. And his mother apparently was an extremely domineering, overbearing type person. And his mother and his wife, his first wife, both moved out of his house around 1992-ish. And his first murder that we know of was Sandra Costilla in 1993. Did all of those things have anything to do with developing? Many people are bullied. Many people have a domineering mother and get divorced, and tragedies happen in it. They don't become serial killers. So what in his psyche made him a psychosexual sadist and a serial killer? And Mike, I know you don't have the answer, but your thoughts.
Billy, when we talk about this with the students, we talk about people's upbringing and things like that, and I always make that connection that many people could be bullied, many people could be mean, many people could be aggressive, and 5 years, 10 years later, they're a very different person than they were when they were, say, 25. No one is the same person they were today as they were in high school 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. We're very, very different people. The only thing I can think of is that there may have been some genetic predisposition to overly, perhaps some aspects of a psychopathic personality, a person who may not feel connections with people, the intimacy, and have the feeling that that they can understand. They can understand intellectually when you say something, somebody can be hurt, but do they have that ability to actually feel that emotionally? It could be that there may have been a little bit of that in his personality, and it may not have been brought forth, except for the fact that if you look at it in a particular way, that the bullying was added onto that already perhaps genetic predisposition, and having two very significant people in his life move out. That we're always looking for, is that is that the cause and effect? He may have done these things if he had been a bright and popular person in school and had a marriage. Remember, his marriage with Asa lasted for many years, so he was capable of some sort of stable relationship. It may not have been a give and take relationship like you'd see with many couples, but so it's very difficult to figure out where the germination, what the seeds were that caused him to, at some point, and if this was the first killing, he was 29. So is it possible that he just anger built up over a number of years and he decided to strike back? Or was there something else previously? Maybe was it rejection by women that had nothing to do with being bullied in school? We don't know. And as you say, it's all real conjecture until after this is over and he's then able to be free to talk and make a name for himself and have his name in textbooks and things like that. That won't happen for quite a while. Right now, it's all conjecture. It could be a number of things that we think. It could be things that we haven't even thought of yet. We don't know.
Absolutely. Proverbs 31_25 from the chat. Just because he's an architect doesn't mean he's intelligent. He didn't see the bigger picture nor care about consequences. Inflated ego. He's a hoarder. That speaks volumes. Sloppy and disorganized. But Proverb 31_25, you're right. He is a hoarder, but isn't his wife also a hoarder then? If she allows the house to look the way it did, or them to just collect things and never throw anything out, is it just the one person? There were 3 other people living in that house, Asa and her daughter and the son. So weren't they all part of that birds of a feather philosophy, or was it just him? Jericho Jet, if he was so cautious, why leave the belt with initials behind? Good question. He made some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes these guys also do certain things on purpose, leave like little clues. They're almost like taunting the police. But when Proverbs 31:25 talked about him being disorganized, torturing bodies and dismembering bodies is a sign of a disorganized personality. And all serial killer experts will tell you that. Misbelieving from the chat, the lawyer has his work cut out for him. Would you say so? Yeah, I think so. Upside ahead from the chat, Nina C. The current theory is that his first wife and then his mother left him alone right before the first known murder of Sandra Castilla. Yeah, that's what I just spoke about. Until they say they have a victim's phone from Rex's house, I won't believe that. I believe they do have the victim's phone because he used the phone to call and taunt a relative of one of the victims. So I believe they're not like announcing every piece of evidence they have. Because let's face it, the first time they were there for 12 days. The second time they were there for 6 days. So you have 18 days of processing a crime scene. That's a lot of hours. Candy collecting memorabilia to later sell after the fall. No, I don't think anyone's going to sell this memorabilia. Katerina Frodlova. Professor Mike, do you think he wrote down the victims' names?
I'm sure that he did somewhere. I'm sure that he would have something to identify them. Perhaps it's a driver's license. I would think he would want something to have a list.